Right. Hi, everyone. Hope y'all all are having a great day. This is a very anticipated for me. I've been trying to, I've been collecting a couple of thoughts and things I wanted to present today. So yeah, most importantly, I really want to open discussion, and hopefully we can have some discussions and some conversations later on after my presentation. That will be awesome. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Luis, also known as Microchip GNU on all social platforms, mostly Twitter and I guess Instagram, Telegram, all these different channels. Yeah, I'm currently working at Mintbase as my full-time job, and on the side, I've been working on 3XR. And the focus today is talking about 3XR, what motivated me to start building this, where we are today, and where I would like to be in the future. Okay. And yeah, so for those of you who don't know, if during the meeting, if you want to check it out, it's 3xr.space, the URL. So, but I think most of you know here. So, all right, what is it? I've been getting a lot of questions. I've been reading a lot of descriptions of this thing as the metaverse, as a place for virtual galleries. Why should you care, you that is watching this? Is it something, is it edible? Hopefully not. What does it stand for? So hopefully I don't have the answer for all this, but yeah, the metaverse is something I'd like to discuss later on this presentation. And why should you care? Well, I think you'll find out. So 3XR, so before I even go into the details of what this is, it's a product, or it's a project at the intersection of two sort of technology fields on the web. One is Web3, which is, well, I think most of you that are involved in the Incubadora DAO now already know what Web3 is. And WebXR, which is essentially technologies that allow you to experience VR, experience websites in your VR headsets, AR headsets, and all sorts of headsets. So XR stands for extended reality. And I think at the intersection of all this, of all these two different fields, there's Web3 XR. And well, I wasn't very original. The name was very, very simple to get. So I dropped the web and I got 3XR, which is a project at the intersection of these two technology fields. So yeah, but to really explain where I got here and why I got here, and what motivated me to get here, we kind of need to go back a few years to the year of 2017, and when I first learned about Ethereum. It's kind of a funny story. I was talking to a friend while having beers, and he just told me, yeah, Ethereum is a great investment opportunity. You should jump in. I just tripled my investment. I'm like, all right, this is cool. Maybe I should just check that out. And I ended up loving the technology, understanding like this is really something very important. Because yeah, before this I've heard about Bitcoin, but never really looked at it as you know, the technology potential it had. So so when I first learned about Ethereum, I went through the white paper. I was like, yeah, checking out the technology, and I learned about smart contracts, which is, yeah, basically unstoppable business logic that runs on an unstoppable machine or network. So it's very powerful, and we are starting to see more and more the composability of these applications out there. So yeah, it's incredible. So I was very interested, but it wasn't just this. It was mostly because the Ethereum was filled with cats. So the thing that really interested me was CryptoKitties. You know, very exciting project. I don't think it got the, you know, how do you say, it? Yeah, it was a great project, mostly because there were a couple of NFT projects before this one, but this was the OG. Like, it really shaped the Eric 721, one of the creators of the CryptoKitties, developed the standard that Ethereum still uses like basically all the whole, like 99% of 95% of the NFT ecosystem is filled with ERC 721s. And this pushed the industry forward with apps like OpenSea and others that were able to use these standards to build their applications. And that's the power of these smart contracts and these open platforms. So yeah, Kitty's brought me here. But yeah, my first experiment, so after I learned about smart contracts, after I learned about CryptoKitties and NFTs and all this crazy madness, I started building something that was Repop World, was my first NFT project. It was essentially the same thing as CryptoKitties, but with celebrities. The story was very simple. Like Elon Musk wanted to repopulate Mars, so he would pick like high profiles like Donald Trump and Barack Obama, but he would need like them to sort of, need to repopulate Mars. So they would need to combine genes and breed people. And yeah, it was kind of a funny project. But most importantly, it wasn't just, just the funny aspect to it. I think the really exciting stuff I learned was by my mistakes, right? We built this, we shipped this, we had customers, we had people using it. But then after a while, we got tired. We were still students in college, sorry. And we kind of were faced with like, we had to drop this project. We cannot like keep working on it. We don't have like resources. We don't have enough people to keep building on it. So we kind of like stopped working on it. Eventually we stopped buying our domain. So our app doesn't exist anymore. But the one cool thing is that the smart contracts still do. And this is very important because this was the first time I actually realized the power of smart contracts. I'm not a developer anymore. I'm not supporting this. There's literally no one supporting this. But like after a year, I stopped working on it. There were transfers on OpenSea, right? So this is kind of like the power of these things, right? So the importance.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? So that guy on the right is the son of Obama and Trump?
Yeah, you could call it something like that. It's a gene material.
Yeah,
I don't know. Cool. So there are three things I could like take out of this project. One was the importance of decentralized file storage. To be fair, we didn't really store anything on IPFS or anything similar. So everything was on a centralized server. Funny enough, OpenSea caches all of this, so the images still show up there. And yeah, the genes kind of like code the images. So we could eventually just get this up and running again, but yeah, we didn't have like many users. So I think it's safe to be like this. So decentralized file storage or data storage is important. So Arweave, IPFS, all of you, if you've heard about this, this is like, if you choose a project, you gotta really focus on like, where are they uploading these things? Is it just like ephemeral, or is it something that's going to be persistent for 200, 300 years? Then communities. Learning about like Web3 crypto communities. Sometimes things get toxic because people are greedy and people want, when you do a giveaway, a lot of people show up and they want this and they want that. So it was my first time actually like going from 100 people on the Discord server to like 1,000. And I couldn't really deal with that. So, I spent a lot of time in community management, and I learned that it's something I cannot really do. So that was another thing I learned. Then development, like the whole development cycle is different from the Web 2. There's a lot of quirks. There's a lot of things that I had to learn that I didn't know before. Like, a smart contract is something that it's not supposed to be changed, right? You can push code all the time to your centralized server, but on a smart contract, you gotta think, you gotta audit those things, and there's a lot of it's a long process. And then I'm gonna just show you very quickly some of the other projects after the CryptoKitties phase. I kind of like started focusing more on like different use cases. So because NFTs are very important, and I don't really want to go too deeply on the subject, because I think all of you potentially know what NFTs are and their importance. But so the first project I used to kind of It's Profile, the first one here. It was sort of you as a creator, let's say a music producer, you create a song, and this song can be bought by, sorry, let me rephrase this. You as a music producer create a song, right? Someone wants to use that on a YouTube channel, on their YouTube video. So one of my ideas was to, well, maybe this producer can just sell media licenses. But not only that, they can sell the NFT itself, which is the original song. And then the owner of this NFT can be selling these media licenses. So it was sort of a way to create a marketplace of usage licenses for the web for all sort of creators. Yeah, this was a very nice experiment. On this one I actually used IPFS, so I learned from my mistakes from the previous project. Then on the middle one, this one here was pretty cool. It was a social app, basically like a Twitter-like app on a crypto tracker, portfolio tracker, that also had this Twitter-like social media thing. And so every single post, so every time a user created an account with us, they had an Ethereum wallet assigned to them, and then every single post was signed with their Ethereum wallet, and then for every 4 hours or 12 hours, would batch all these posts and submit a transaction on Ethereum. So basically, all the database and everything that happened on the social media app is still stored somewhere. So it's pretty cool because you can basically build all the database for about 2 years of social media posts. This was quite big. Also, the importance of persistency and public data storage. Then use NFTs as ad time slots on ad networks to cut out the middlemen because big platforms, there are still ad platforms, Facebook and TikTok and all those are still ad platforms. So it was kind of a way to cut out the middleman. Then experimented a bit with DeFi and NFTs, lending and borrowing NFTs was pretty fun too. And later on, started delving more into the metaverse, the virtual worlds, how to use and connect NFTs into all these spaces. So yeah, it was quite cool. So this was late 2020, so last year. And why does this have anything to do with VR? So kind of like started with the crypto part and now VR, metaverse. Well, it's kind of funny. Just two more things. My experiences, I've worked I published 2 games on the Oculus platform. So my takes next are from what I learned during the process. So Oculus is a company owned by Facebook, so it's Facebook, and they right now sort of own about I would say 80% of the VR market. This pie chart alone shows you Steam VR users, so they're not users on the Oculus platform. It's Steam VR, an external platform, but you can see that Oculus users alone are 60% of this chart. So this is quite concerning. Then this take is from Six. It's a OG developer on the VR ecosystem. He's built a lot of stuff like YourFit, which is a health tracker. And he says that building an app to then have the platform itself to compete with you. This is the common practice by Facebook. They compete with the people that are building on their platform. So it's kind of dumb, in my opinion. But yeah, so Six showed us here, I'm not sure if you can actually read the letters here. Is it hard?
Yeah, I can. So.
Okay, cool. So this product was released by Six, and a year later, Oculus released something very similar, competing with the major player on this sort of thing on their platform. So it's kind of like they're not trying to find ways to cooperate with developers, and it's kind of sad because the VR ecosystem is mostly filled with indie developers, mostly filled with passionate developers, and mostly filled with people that don't have the resources to compete with Facebook. So yeah, it's a bad take. Then another thing that I kind of would like to tell you is Oculus forces users to connect Facebook accounts today. This started last year. German regulators tried to investigate it and were against this. Well, a lot of controversy, on this take by Facebook, but yes, they were able, and they're doing this right now. If you have an Oculus headset, you need to have a legit Facebook account to connect your headset. And then there's literally no transparency for the people that participate in the platform. Well, y'all know that you don't have any transparency, but for me specifically as a developer, I was building and publishing things, and I was in contact with Facebook or Oculus in this case. And there's no pathway, there's no guidelines, there's literally almost nothing that allows you to sort of project, if you're building this, how can I market this, and how can I go to market in VR? And this is kind of funny because, well, the people that make it probably have good connections with Oculus, or they made like, you know, one of you know, those cases in which you build something, gets viral, and well, they're forced kind of to take it. So it's really a market that it's hard to participate on. So I think NFTs here, or Web3 in general, would allow us to, you know, create more transparent marketplaces and composable, and yeah, nicer to participate on. And okay, let me think. Okay, yeah, and why is this a problem, and why am I telling you this? So the take is, we're going, so eventually VR hits the mainstream. Eventually we're going to use these devices every single day, whether you believe it or not. I think we're going in that direction. That could take like 5 to 10 years, but that's the direction we're making, right? And this is quite important, this slide, because you can see that ByteDance, which is the parent company of TikTok, just acquired like last month Pico, which is the major player in the Chinese market. Guess why? And then Facebook got Oculus like a couple of years ago. So we have like two of the biggest social media ad platforms buying the biggest players in the VR ecosystem. So what's left, right? Hard to know. But and yeah, the next generation of social work apps will look a lot more like this. I know, kind of funny, maybe greater resolution, I hope so, but hopefully, but this is definitely where we're going. And is this the metaverse? So I think this is kind of the question. Most media platforms try to, they don't even try to answer this. They just make some takes on the metaverse stuff. And I would like to go with the Mark Zuckerberg's take, actually. He calls the metaverse the embodied internet. So what is the embodied internet? So it spans the physical and virtual worlds. It contains fully fledged economies and offers interoperability, right? This is sort of the take for the metaverse. It's kind of funny that a company as centralized as Facebook that makes this take, but this is literally, what the metaverse means. You can work, you can play, you can do pretty much anything, buy things, live inside these spatial experiences or spatial applications. So what can we do to sort of prevent this and go in bad directions, or like what can we do to remain safe? My take is so my take is use the web to build alternatives. It's been the best platform, the most open platform up until now. So using the web to not only build things, but to create things, to distribute things. It's not as centralized as other alternatives. So the web, definitely. And what does this mean? So as I mentioned before, Web3, where you have ownership, composability, data persistency, open environments, and then WebXR, which is the future of human-computer interaction, no Facebook-ish and others. And yeah, it's VR, AR on the web. So this is the take, right? At the intersection of these two big things, you have the Web3 XR, and not affiliated with 3XR. 3XR is just a bad name, but Web3XR is a big field and it's supposed to be bigger. But yeah, this is now what I'm currently doing, what I'm building, 3XR. And well, I would love to show you some of the progress where it all started. So it started last December.
Luis, can I stop you there?
Yes, please.
So let's just check if anyone has any questions, maybe before going into the details.
Yes, sir.
For example, Vandal asked if you have seen Upload, for example.
Oh, I was just chiming in because you were talking about Facebook, and I'm not a huge fan personally, and that's why I don't want to get an Oculus or any of those things. But I do want to be able to experience, you know, the metaverse in full VR capabilities. But Upload was just a show that was projecting sort of the future of what Facebook wanted to see as like the future of work, and uploading your future self to the cloud so you could live on in a retirement home as an avatar. Anyway, that's all.
I think I did. Is it not like you died and you upload your consciousness and then right, something like this?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I think I saw it. It was on Amazon something.
Yeah, one of those, Hulu or something.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I did. You should check out Links R1. They are on a Kickstarter right now. It's ending soon. It's, I think, might be the best alternative to any other type of machine for VR. Let me just get the. Have you heard about it?
No, I haven't.
If you can, just paste it in the chat. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Right. Does anyone have has a question, or can Luis move forward? Yeah, so please move forward.
Yeah, if you have questions, let me know. Okay, I'm going to show you. Wait, this is bad. Can I change in real time this? No. Sorry. No. All right, yeah, this started on Ethereum, so it wasn't even on Near. I didn't know anything about Near when I started this. But yeah, so this was the first iteration. So as you can see, you have some sort of parcels there, different types of assets, and you can move around, just all right, drop some file. I think this is a 3D model. Yes, so adding 3D models, just, you know, creating content on a 3D environment. Some avatars. Then you could even, yeah, change the environment. I mean, a lot of stuff. This was just literally the first ideas I was trying to figure out how to author these things and distribute these things on like decentralized file storage systems. So in the end, whatever this produces is stored on IPFS, and then also the renderer, the thing that is rendering these worlds, are also stored on IPFS. So it's kind of like all of this is yeah, all of this was stored on like these decentralized file storage system. So yeah, I was just playing around with this. As you can see, it's nothing too crazy, but you could even like do some HTML. So write a website here on this little box. I think it will show. Okay, yeah. So just really funny. And yeah, so wait, I think there's MetaMask involved somehow. Yes, MetaMask. I believe that all of you already know what MetaMask is, and so yeah, basically you use MetaMask to sign this thing. This is not even like an NFT or anything. It's just like really message signed, stored, and then it just renders this world, multiplayer world. Yes.
Yeah, some of our artists might not know MetaMask, but it's just basically what an Ethereum wallet for a browser, right? Something like this.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
Yeah.
And then this was until January. Then I joined Mintbase and I started learning all about Near, and got really fascinated because one of the very cool things about Near is their account system. And yeah, you cannot have your MetaMask wallet on your, so inside VR, if you want to try to sign a transaction, there's literally no wallet yet for VR, right? So this disrupts the experience. You're taken out of this virtual experience, got to sign the transaction and go back in. But on Near, for some transactions, not transactions that involve like sending tokens and all this, like Near tokens and all that, you can actually sign these transactions inside these virtual environments without getting the experience disrupted. So this is a small example of the first experiment I did, just to show you what you could do with VR. And this is a website. This is literally not a game, not something published on marketplaces. This is literally a website, right? So I just visited this thing, want to donate 1 token using some random Near wallet I just created. And yeah, it sent 1 token. So this submitted a transaction on a blockchain. Cool.
Nice.
Can you send us the link? Or
Yes,
is it, yeah.
Can you mint an NFT together in such an environment?
Yes, sir. Yes, you can. Yeah, so, okay. And then this was very similar to, this was more of an advanced, this literally 1 month after I played with that, I just made this experiment of, yeah, just a sort of, how do you call this? Sort of a casino, a roller, no, how do you call that? I can't find the word. Slot machine, sort of like a slot machine, you know, like you submit the transaction, it sometimes it takes you money, sometimes it gives you money. Yeah, so it was a more advanced thing. I was like playing around with these more complex applications inside these environments. I will also share this. And then I noticed that I was reinventing the wheel in many different aspects. I did a, from April until June, I did a big tech stack change. I moved everything to a more developer-friendly technologies like React. So some of you, I mean, I don't know if you know, but it's one of the most popular frameworks for develop applications on the web. So I did a big stack change. This took me like 3 months to rebuild basically all of the things. And yeah, from July until today, what 3xR is doing is powering all Mint-based stores with virtual galleries. So if you have your own smart contract, your own store on Mint-base, you automatically get a virtual gallery. So this is an example. This is Incubadora's Mint-based store. And this is the virtual queen. So Incubadora's virtual gallery, all right? Okay, there's a chat thing. Yeah. And what else? What is coming tomorrow? So I don't know how this. Yeah. What is coming tomorrow? So tomorrow we really want to bring custom spaces. We've heard people using, and thank you so much for all the feedback. We've been getting a lot of feedback and people wanting to have more customized experiences. And yeah, custom spaces are coming. And they're not coming just as custom spaces, they're coming as NFTs. So once you create a space, you're actually minting an NFT and whatever. Yeah, so at first, these will be virtual galleries as custom spaces, and all the artists showcased in these galleries that you create will. I'm going to show you the video actually, so I don't need to be explaining you something that I can show you the video for. Okay. Who is actually here?
My name is Vincent Jordan, and I'm a front-end developer, and this is my solution to the 3xR challenge. So we have the landing page where we have the component that shows the recent galleries we created. To have access to our web, we need to first connect to the wallet, and then we can launch the gallery later. Okay. In the first step, we need to choose the NFTs that we want to be shown in the gallery. We can select NFTs that we created or that we own, and we can search for NFTs in the ecosystem. So let's select something. I'm gonna choose these three. You can also change the order. This will affect the order that they will appear in the gallery. In the second step, we can select the title for our gallery, as well as the description in the gallery cover. Okay. In the third step, we can select how many tokens of this gallery that we want to mint from 1 to 10. We can choose the gallery template. For now, we only have this one. And we can customize the sky color of these templates. We also can choose the DAO that we want to propose the gallery creation. And for now, we are using the Sputnik V2. In the step 4, we have the preview of the gallery. It takes a little bit to load. You can see the sky color that I picked earlier and the NFTs in the order that I chose. In the last step, we have a small summary of the info that I picked earlier. And in this step, we also can create the NFT proposal. So I'm gonna create it. Once I create the NFT proposal, it will appear in the DAO to be accepted or rejected. So right here we have our proposal. Okay. I'm going to accept it. And once it gets accepted and authorized, it will appear in the ecosystem that in the 3XR to anyone can see it. So after the DAO accepts the gallery proposal, it will appear in my store in Mintbase, as you can see. This is the gallery that I created. You can see there the royalties that goes to the artists and the creator of the gallery. And you also can check in the 3XR the gallery, the created gallery. Yeah, the sky color and the NFTs that I chose. And I think this sums up my solution.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you could hear it well, but to sum it up, it's well, a very initial, I think, concept for a very good, who is here on the call, yeah, was a great submission for the meta build hackathon. I was very excited to see this coming into fruition. But yeah, so essentially what it means is anyone can come in and sort of curate, select a bunch of artists, propose to a DAO the creation of this thing. The DAO will mint on the DAO store on Mintbase this gallery, and then every single person involved in the creation of every single NFT showcased in the gallery will get paid out if the token of the gallery gets sold, and you can mint as many tokens as you want for this gallery. So it's kind of exciting. I think it's the first step for customizing spaces, involving NFTs, involving DAOs, involving all this ecosystem on here. So it's really exciting, and hopefully we have something, hopefully
Hello everyone.
By the end of this month. Would love to. And yeah, any questions about this? I don't know if
yeah. I got a quick one. So the NFTs that are placed in the gallery, they're not you don't get those NFTs particularly. You just get the gallery to look at them, or do you also get those NFTs?
No, you just get the gallery. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. So it's both a way of curating, like a gallery, like in what's the name of the music app? Spotify, like something like that. So
yeah, like a playlist.
You can create a playlist, but it's also really cool for, for example, Incubadora who's about to create an exhibition. We can create an NFT that's the exhibition, right? So it's every work is in the same place, and you can look at the works in conjunction with each other, in connection with each other. That's really cool, I think.
Can you resize them in the gallery, like the NFTs, or do they remain that size on the wall?
That's a very good question. I think not right now. Yes, that's something that we could do. Obviously, it's not hard technically to do that. One of the examples I can show you is, so let me show you one thing very quickly. I don't know if you know this. I think I mentioned this in a Create Base call a couple of months ago. But yeah, it's something that is not documented. It's hard to do that. It's hard if you're not involved in development. It's hard to know. But look at this frame, right? This frame has a different color, right? As you can see, it's blue, and all the others by default are black or gray or something. So this is something on the NFT itself. Let me show you. Easier if I do this. Good. Oops, yeah, let me go on the thing page. So if you check out the thing metadata of the NFT metadata, you see that there's this tag here, 3xr frame color, where we can set like colors, but you could set size, you could set pretty much anything. Not right now, we don't support that, but that's literally something we could do. So yeah, definitely, that's a great suggestion. I think Julian also suggested that in a government on the Year forum a couple of weeks ago. So we're aware this is something people want to do. So
yeah, it's kind of like what you can do with crypto voxels as well. Like you could maybe have like a place where you can type or write something, so you could create like a sign or some more information about the NFTs or the gallery. I think might also be really cool.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and we have six artists here, so they can speak for themselves, obviously. But I think it's really cool if you give the artists the control over the frame or the size or even the setting where the NFTs are being shown, right? Because the setting is really important, and we see that in real life, right? With the galleries and the museums, the lighting is important, the music is important, the color of the wall is important, everything is important for someone to really enjoy a specific art piece, right? So I think if artists get more power in deciding these details, I think they'll be more adept of using the technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the thing is, this is not, well, this is definitely my point. My next point is, so for the future, it's not just about, like, galleries, of course, are very important, right? Not only specifically like these art galleries that need, like, I mean, I'm not a pro at I don't understand anything, to be honest, about art galleries. I mean, you know much better than I do. But my point is, I think this is the foundation for because everything are galleries, like literally the way we communicate, what we explore on the web, and the way we consume everything today, it's just galleries, right? You go on Instagram, you go on Twitter, these are galleries, right? So in a way. So my point, the point I'm trying to make is, if we're heading into like more spatial technologies, and if we're heading into this future, there needs to be some alternative to the current players, the big players in this field, that allows people to consume, create, participate in an open environment, and with the rules what they want, right? So the foundation for this, of course, if you want to build galleries, I mean, we're going to focus on this, allowing people to integrate NFTs, creating their own spaces. But eventually, I see this as moving into other things like DAO's integration, more deeply integrated, more communities, multiplayer. So it's not just a single user experience. You can throw a party, do a DAO Records launch album, something, I don't know, NFT drop, or you can invite people over. If you have the gallery NFT, maybe you can join the session and all these things. So, and the goal is to have more tools for both devs and creators, all types of creators, actually. So, and more. There's always more. But this is, I think, the focus in the future, somewhere in the future. So just to sum it up, what I've just presented you is the focus of 3XR, just to really sum it up, and this is also a good exercise for me is easy to create and share across all devices, spaces for virtual communities participating in digital economies. All right, do you want me to go back and do it again? I'm just kidding. So
That's
questions?
good. That was good. How soon can we use it?
Hopefully by the end of the month, I guess. That's the goal. Yeah.
Amazing. It's awesome. Really good work.
Thank you.
So does anyone have a question?
This was probably a lot to take in.
No, I have like thoughts about the future of it, but I'll save those for later. I think let's see what we can do with the first iteration and play around with. But yeah, amazing.
But feel free to write me all those details. You know, it's really important to get that feedback and ideas.
I guess mainly it's just around customization, you know, of the space, maybe just a few more parameters of customization, even like shape or wall textures, or you know, tiles, even like this sort of thing. I think would be cool, and even maybe portals to other galleries, so links that you can click through from, because I think that might be good. Once someone has a gallery or is in a gallery, maybe they want to go somewhere through that. Obviously the NFTs are all linked, right? But maybe some external links even.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with that. Yeah, definitely. Interconnecting all these spaces is what comes to my mind too. Like it gets, because you know, like a store or a DAO are composed by people, you know, mint things on the store. So we have a lot of social graphs here. Like we can create so many interconnections of all these different spaces, and yeah, it's a lot. I think it's cool. I just don't know how to to take this chaos, because it's really chaotic too, and make it right for everyone. So but I mean, maybe I don't need to make it right. Maybe the community is itself like self-regulating and make it right for them. So I think that's the goal, right?
That's pretty much like how CryptoVoxels evolved as well. It was really just the community wanting various features and functions, and then Ben and his team built it. Yeah, so it's always a good way, because it evolves as its own sort of entity rather than sort of a goal in mind, or trying to get to a goal, and maybe that wasn't necessarily what people wanted to use it for. And I guess ultimately the users and the people in the space are the ones who are going to know what they need ultimately, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but CryptoVoxels did a very good job, I think. Yeah, it's a good project. I'm not sure if we're becoming or trying to become something like CryptoVoxels. I think it's a very specific and unique project, you know. Yeah, but actually, I've never spent much time thinking about this.
Well, I've already thought about, you know, linking in the NFT for the NFT gallery in CryptoVoxels for people to go click through to. So yeah.
Cool. But like CryptoVoxels to 3XR, or?
Yeah, like for example, put the NFT gallery, put it in my CryptoVoxels parcel, and then people can click through into that gallery or to the NFT itself. Maybe one other thing I was thinking is that currently there's only the one image for the NFT. Is that right? Like it's just that sort of cover, 3XR image. Maybe it could take a snapshot of the gallery.
Yeah. I love that idea. It's just hard because I've tried to do that. It's kind of it's kind of hard. Mostly because if we try to use something on the server side, you know, like while rendering, or because what we do, let me just finish this one. Do you want to go, or? Okay. So basically, yeah, to sum it up, it's hard. It's something I've definitely thought about. But right now, since it takes a bit time to load, even if I use something on the server side to take the picture, and it gets messy. But that's a great suggestion, actually. Yeah, Niku? Yeah.
Hey, Luis, thank you so much. This was pretty good, actually, pretty amazing. Just to bring a comment, just to bring into what I think it will be the interest of the artists in residency, I guess. First, like I really appreciate this movement to try to make this more accessible to people and independent of like big companies, basically, and trying to. For me, it makes so much sense. It's something that I have been questioning myself like a lot, like what should we do about this in that regard? Because even like in institutional context that I have seen that they are not interested in, like, let's say, in the economical outcomes of such the use of these tools. They are subject to, at the end, they have to use Oculus or whatever, because it seems that it will be it will touch more people, basically. But but I was thinking about the idea of the spaces itself. Like I think like there is a huge improvement in terms of like socio-technical thinking, let's say, of how we think about the development of technology in terms of community. But it will be great to see how this actually could be shaped in terms of an aesthetical dimension of this, and how we could think about space as a techno-aesthetical unit. And so instead of thinking just to the digital economies, like how we expand this to a digital ecology, how we go beyond what it might be defined in terms of economy or the speed of these kind of dynamics. So, for example, what you said about how everything is a gallery, and you gave an example, for example, of Instagram, whatever. Like, actually, I agree with that. But that's the thing. Like, there is a specific way of operating and how you relate with this, and there is an expectation of how you relate in terms of speed. There is this idea of consumption of cultural content. So this is something that doesn't feel that right when we start thinking about spaces. And so, for example, and this is a question about galleries. This is something that already exists like a while ago. So why we use walls, why we are not using the middle of the room, or how we think, for example, an installation in this context. How do we think, for example, there is this the Museum of Sao Paulo has this thing that they have in the last floor, that they have only this kind of, they don't use a wall at all. Like, the walls are glasses, actually. And you have this, I don't know the word for in English, they say cavaliette. I don't know. So, and you can see it actually, that, for example, you can see the work in the behind, and you can see was brought in there by the artists, like, I don't know how many years ago. And at the same time, you have all these plays of the lights hitting all these structures and creating new experience. And I know that this is possible in virtual reality. You can get a really fulfilling experience through lighting and that kind of things. And even like sound, I know, because this is kind of my field. Like, I have made sounds for virtual reality, and you have this a lot of work now in specialization and that kind of experience, that you need time, that you need like to walk a little bit. And so I would really like to see how this unfold in this regard, and I think it's partially what you said. Like, this is a matter of how artists start engaging with this, because if nobody's bringing this kind of thought, of course it won't happen. Like,
my point is, so I think that's a great point. And what I can say is, my point is, I'd love to build something that is just a foundation for others to build on top of, and don't have to worry about like how everything connects to each other, but like build their own communities, build their own things, their own living organisms. And because the thing is, when you think about Instagram, and I hate Instagram, attention. So the point is, whenever you go on Instagram, you're fed with things that you don't know how to get to you, right? You're just like, through your interaction, through the things you clicked on. And I mean, you're just getting fed with things you don't know why, right? Well, maybe they know better than you, but the point is, the goal here is to just build a foundation and then let it unfold and let the people and the communities and everyone that gets involved into these organisms that start creating to decide whatever is best for them, right? Because at the end of the day, we're not like alone, right? We have our own communities, we have our own followers, we have the people we follow, we have shared interests, and just remove like the bad parts of the web. That's my point. That's my goal. It's a challenge. It's a big challenge.
But how do you think that this could develop further in that sense? Like, if, for example, if there is, because artists won't have the knowledge to develop this kind of stuff at the end. They will need someone like you or some with that kind of knowledge to work with, basically, in this path. And so how do you see this kind of collaboration? Do you think that there is any kind of dynamic that could work in some sort of set, or do you think that this is something that have to be like shaped, like we don't know and we have to try something because we don't know what is going to happen? Or
my answer to you is very simple. It's look at VRDAO, for example, right? I'm more delved into the technical side. Rui Santiago too. You're more of an artist side, right? So the thing is, the technology. So 3XR is there's this. Well, this thing I've just showed you is pretty. How do you say? It's pretty boilerplate. The one thing that this page that renders the gallery, what it does is just really the logic to interact with keyboards or headsets and how to render all that stuff. So it doesn't really know anything about the content. So it pushes the content from decentralized file storage systems, pushes the NFTs, know how to deal with that. That's the goal of 3XR. It's just be like this engine, right? And then communities can create their own spaces. The VRDAO can like start building these spaces, and people that want to participate in VRDAO, want to consume the content that the VRDAO creates. I mean, hopefully, I think this answers your question actually. So it's more about the community starting to, at first, mixing the technical or the technological parts with the artist parts, and then see it evolve. I guess it answers your question.
Yeah, and I was thinking also that, just to finish, this kind of, I always think about these dynamics that gamers have, you know, when they are talking and they are talking a lot and trashing each other, and at the same time they building kind of friendships that people that they know each other, they never met each other, but they are friends for years. And they have this kind of social fabric that create and they engage with each other. And I was thinking about the other, like not much time ago, I was thinking about how years ago, when we want to hear music, we usually get to new music because we were talking with our friends or hearing music or places or whatever. And now we are in this stage that we are seeing, like, I don't know, like following someone in YouTube that is reacting to some music. And we let ourselves to maybe see a video of 30 minutes of somebody like listening to a music and then talking about it.
Yeah.
So this will, I think there is some sort of potential in this kind of environments to create this exchange where we are not following one people, like we met in some place, virtual space, to share music or whatever, or share something else. But have you seen this? Do you think that this is something possible in these kind of platforms, like create some sort of real-time communication that we could speak with each other, walking through these galleries, or this is something that is too difficult, technically speaking, or make no sense? What I'm saying, I don't know. Like,
I mean, regarding like 3XR specifically, or in general on the web?
Both, maybe. Like,
okay. I can tell you about like technical limitations right now. For example, I'm not sure if you've heard of the Fortnite ace. Was it Travis Scott, like the big rap star, did a concert last year or 2 years ago or something with 11 million people watching in real time. This was not definitely on the web, I guess. It was on a native, but that doesn't matter. The point is, even like Epic Games, which is like a big developer, they have a lot of resources. Their max capacity was 100 people per instance. So they had 100,000 different instances running in multiplayer with 100 people each max. So they reached the 11 million in real time watching the concert. That was cool. But like there's still limitations on each space that you can have. Like on the web, it's even less, I would say, depending on the avatars, depending on the whole thing. but yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do, like, but I mean, if you want to join with like 3 friends and you know, talk in virtual reality, and just, it's possible to do on the web today. It's yeah. Yeah, I think
Thank you.
Fred, yeah.
Yeah, I think the technical part that Nico was maybe suggesting a while ago, a couple of minutes ago, I think it's really interesting to think about, and maybe it's cool that we have artists here and devs and all these people, because if it's going to work, if a place like 3XR and others are going to work, they have to be as complex, let's say, or at least mimic the complexity of the works that the artists or that people produce. For example, we have Natalia, who's a photographer, or we have Nico, who's a sound designer, or maybe Vitor wants to do a, you know, some kind of installation or whatever. João is a painter. So I think the technical side has to accommodate all these different languages, because like Nico was saying, some works they don't want to be put in a wall, you know, in a canvas. Some need a 3D space and you need to go around them. Some you need space between the art, you know, space between the art piece. And so there's a lot of complexity in showing artworks. And I think it's really cool if we can, you know, bring people together to talk about this stuff and get feedback, and just like even start on small projects and just like build from those, right? Build from those. And the VR DAO is also a lot about that, right? Just to start with small stuff that might become big stuff in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
Just to complement that thing, like, so in another talk we have here, we were talking about how this kind of environments can influence artists. And this, for example, this what we are seeing now, that I think, like, when artists see themselves in the situation of working for a site, like in a specific situation, they got ideas that they won't get in a normal situation. So this is one, for example, you have a kind of weird space. And I think that is something that I really see a power in virtual reality, because you don't have to have like a normal space. You don't have to mimic reality as we experience it physically. Like, we could create something that's completely unnatural in that sense. And that as a space be a platform for artists to create something, and put actually to create something that doesn't exist. So this is something that I will really like to see in the future. In terms of aesthetic thinking, like, if I see that there is a future in terms of art making, that will be for me, like, this possibility of having an experience that I cannot have out there.
Yeah.
I have an idea. I have an idea for a different Poliedro edition that's all about it, Nico. All about creating art, just like for a specific virtual setting. That would be cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and again, I think yeah, you didn't ask a question, but my point is again, it's, yeah, I think eventually there's still a lot to figure out, you know. There are already some platforms and things that allow you to do all sorts of things too. The one thing that I find that they're missing right now is really an understanding of what are DAOs, for example, because DAOs are very powerful or mechanisms, right? Are very powerful systems, and we just really scratch the surface here. It's really because yeah, everyone has their hands up. I think yeah, you can go, Juliana, or
no, my question is maybe connected to what Nico and Fred were saying, because in Incubadora we had about 2 months ago, I guess, that we were supporting an architect to research on virtual galleries and maybe come up with a project for our, like, an Incubadora gallery or something.
Yeah.
But my question is, in this near future that you are working on, is there a space for example, collaborating with architects as well? Because we were talking about collaborating with artists, but if it makes sense to have more people from architecture background, and how this collaboration could be.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't know much how architects work. I suspect that. So ideally, if you want a space and you want to have this being the space for the gallery, what we do now is we allow GLTF or GLB files to be uploaded, and through that you can select like where do you want things to be rendered, right? Where do you want to place NFTs in this space? So essentially what CreateStar does now is separates the space or like the structure you want to render, and then the things you want to render on it, right? Right now it's pretty much this. It's possible. I think it will need someone more technical involved for the moment, I guess. So someone that would know how to program React or something like this. In the future, it might be much easier. Literally, the goal is to make this as easy as possible. We just need to go through this hard beginning, which is like figuring out how to separate modularize things, and yeah. Does this answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Vandal?
Vandal said he's going to be right back, but Rebecca asked a question in the chat. Maybe okay. Rebecca, do you want to verbalize it, or maybe Luis can read? She can talk right now. So she's saying that it would be interesting to bring in more curators. There's already DAOs that are basically curating DAOs. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm reading. What does it mean? So I'm trying to figure out for a Web3 world. Researching new curation methods for a Web3 world. What does Web3 world mean exactly here? Is it like a virtual world, or like the Web3 world in general? Okay. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think having DAOs involved somehow, even through like, yeah, totally.
But Rebecca, do you mean like, for example, the VR DAO could have some kind of a collaboration with the curators DAOs, right? To try and include more I don't know, different practices or artists, or you mean like in ways to expand the what's possible right now?
Yeah, so I was actually listening to Jordan today on Twitter. Jordan and Reed talking about AstroDAO. It was actually interesting. And what they were talking about is how two DAOs can be so you have like the parent DAO, then you have like two other DAOs below it, and you can create proposals for the parent DAO, and then the other DAOs are the ones in the council members, right? So they need to approve, or all these kinds of mechanisms. So curating, curating VR spaces between the VR DAO and the curators DAO, for example, like finding some way to do this. It's kind of funny. I think very interesting.
I can see a good collaboration there between curators DAO and you guys. Another thing, wait, the other thing I was going to suggest is there's there's another metaverse project called 2D City, and they were involved in the build hack as well. I think that they might have actually won something, but they were working with Paras on integrating Paras NFTs into their space. So maybe something could be a collaboration there by working in the galleries into there, so you can click through to the galleries, to a different gallery. Like you could teleport yourself from like an image of the gallery or whatever the NFT is, and then right into that gallery, because they're also building on Near.
Yeah. I've seen some Twitter posts about them. I don't really know what's the state of the project now. Do you know how I could test that?
Yeah, I'm involved in it as well. So I've been like helping out in terms of on the music side. But yeah, I can send you some links. I'll drop some links in the chat here.
Cool. Nice.
Collabception.
It's a big jump. Yeah, this looks cool. It's built on Play Canvas. Yeah, this is nice. Peter from New Week. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the one. How do I find these people? Oh man, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, so while you open and close new windows or tabs, if anyone has another question, now is the time.
Yeah, please do. So no more questions? Just watching me configure my avatar.
Yeah, so if there's no more questions, I think we can wrap it up.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Luis, for this tour. So Quebec is also fun to watch you playing on the screen. Yeah, so maybe we can just do that for an hour.
Next time. Okay, this is fun.
It's incredible. So because you don't stop moving, you know, then people just get hooked on what you're doing. they can't say bye-bye. You're just walking around. Yeah, so thank you, Luis. Thank you everyone for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
And there's Natalia doing this.
Thank you.
This geek symbol. Yeah.
Thanks all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Obrigado a todos. Então, e até a próxima.
Tchau, tchau.
Bye, thank you.